Okay, thank you for letting me come and chat to you today about the Enhanced programme. I was going to start off with, obviously, I'm based in England. It says NHS England all over it, but all the resources are based on the NHS England Learning Hub, which can be accessed by anybody with an Athens account, and anybody that works in the NHS in the UK can have an Athens account. So actually, it's doable by everybody. So what is this new programme? Is it something that we've put in place to give you extra stress and strain? No, hopefully not. What it is that before COVID, there was life before COVID. HE worked to work out with doctors, with patients, with healthcare organisations, what we thought the skills were that our future doctors needed to be able to adapt to life in a very changing environment. Mike, Anthony, Tony and I have been doctors for a very long time, and the NHS has changed significantly over that period, and we've had to adapt with it. And what we wanted to do was to try and see if we could develop a leadership type programme that gave our doctors the ability to move through the stages of the NHS, or however it might look in 20 years' time, and give you the opportunity to be advocates or activists for good healthcare for our population. And so one of the things we did was come up with this program called the Enhanced Program, or Enhancing Generalist Skills. The generalist skills being those wider skills of a doctor, not your clinical skills, not your being able to pop in a chest strain, I'm an obstetrician, not being able to deliver a baby, but your skills of being able to look at the patient in front of you, the situation that they live in, and the healthcare that's provided in the region, and say, how can I best look after not just this patient as a chest pain, but as a person in their own right. So this is the program that we've developed to do that. So it all sounds really quite kind of complex maybe, but one of the reasons we want to do it now is that we know that we have increased complexity in our patients. Our society is more complex. We've all become more noticeable of our health inequalities that are around the country in different areas. We also know that as healthcare is divided up more, it becomes harder to work out where patients could be seen, so the systems we work in are more challenging. And there is a real thing that we need to do about things like environmental sustainability in healthcare to make sure that we can carry on delivering it. So this is the Enhanced programme. It has 6 modules or domains, and they are, as they say, they're very straightforward. They start with focusing on the patient, and person-centred care and complex multimorbidity are effectively your F1 curriculum made through this programme too. And then it branches out into, so how does that person live in the real world? So there's something on population health, that social justice and health equality, and working within a system, and then looking to the future with environmental sustainability. We've got 2 offers for foundation doctors, and I'm mostly going to talk to you about Enhance Enable, which is available for every foundation doctor to do as an additional element to their foundation programme. It's open from now. The resources are on the Learning Hub. It can be self-directed through the Learning Hub, but we're hoping to have opportunities for you to have live events, live teaching within your trusts. And these, as I said, are where we're kind of positioning those modules in foundation. F1 is the introductory module, person-centred care and complex multimorbidity, because they really line with what you need to do as F1 doctors. And we want our F1 doctors, as I've just heard, to get through their ARCPs and not feel that they've been distracted by lots of other things that aren't relevant. And then F2 is stretching you away from the real core to get those basics for being a good healthcare advocate of the future. I'm going to say again, this is never going to be mandatory for ARCP. This is a voluntary additional offer. We're quite keen on it. We hope that you all feel encouraged to have a look at it. You do some or all of the modules. Why might you want to do all of the modules? Well, we're going to give you a leadership certificate if you complete them all in contextual leadership, equivalent to 3 days of work on a course that may or may not be applicable to your next stage applications as a point scoring element in the portfolio. Teaching and training time, we can't increase your teaching and training time, but actually we think each module, which has a series of teaching opportunities and doing it for real, will take perhaps 4 to 6 hours, and these can predominantly be done in self-development time. Your generic foundation program may well have lots of the educational elements that join it, and so really on the whole it shouldn't give you too much additional work to do, but it's more like looking at these subjects in a different way. So rather than just hearing about, COPD the same way as you heard about COPD as a medical student, you're now seeing it as somebody that's seeing a person living within a healthcare system and how fragmented or not it might be. So this is a link. I use QR codes a lot, and the slides will be coming round of where some of these resources sit and the workbooks. So this is a look at a workbook, for example. It tells you why you're doing it, self-assessment matrix, and a tick for sign off. We have a learning opportunities. You can see we've linked to a lot of the e-learning, much of which is on the foundation e-learning. So it's a 2 for the price of 1. And some of it is new additional e-learning. We're creating virtual reality resources and other live video recordings to be able to supplement this. And then we have let's do a bit of it in action so that you've embedded it. And this is through the things that you'd be doing anyway, case-based discussions, engaging with the lived experience of your patients and family, having a chance to talk to them, working with some of the wider workforce, seeing what they do in healthcare, quips, patient information leaflets. We've given you an idea of where you might find the time to do it. And then the sign-off criteria. So the sign-off is going to be relatively straightforward. When you've done a module, you have a tick sheet that you can show to ES that can countersign it and go to your local MEM or foundation program lead, who will be able to turn it into a module certificate. Like Pokemon, if you collect them all, there'll be a reward, and the reward for this will be an enhanced leadership certificate that will be given out by the foundation school or the trailblazer, depending on how your region wants to do it. I do think, because I'm racing through this so you can ask me questions, that actually it answers a lot of the how do we give foundation doctors that bigger vision about what their future might be. I think it's great as a first leadership option for foundation. I'm quite pleased that of all the different trainees we could have looked at to put this kind of program in, we've started with foundation, because I think often foundation is left till last and we're starting with you first on this time. And there are already resources out there for you to find out more.